coming. I'm going to share my screen. One second. All right, can everybody see okay? Okay. All right, so today we're going to go over Google Slides and how we can integrate that in with Seesaw. There we go. So just to start off with, I know many of you are probably familiar with Google Slides, but just in case, I'm going to go over some of the basics, just kind of how to use it and how to log in and, share settings and things like that. Then I'm going to go through how we can use some templates, the different ways that you can use templates. And then I'll get into integrating into Seesaw. I'll touch on Bitmoji, like the Bitmoji classroom, because I know a lot of people like that, and it might be something that you're willing to try this year if you want. I'm not saying you have to. And then I'm going to go into how you can use different Chrome extensions and add-ons for Google Slides to enhance and kind of help you work with your slideshows. So like I said, just for the basics getting started with Google Slides, I'm going to go over a few of these key points, like how to log in, share settings, save settings, and just a few different creative tools that you can use. So just to get started there, I'm going to open up a new tab. If you're not familiar with signing into your Google account, if you just go to google.com, in the top right corner, you'll see I'm already logged in here. If you're not logged in, you'll probably just see like a gray circle. And you're going to click on it and it will give you the option to sign in. As you can see, I'm already signed into my Google account, and that makes sure to kind of link everything that you have within Chrome, like your extensions and things like that. It kind of keeps it all together once you're signed in. So you want to make sure that you're signed in when you're using Chrome, and especially if you're getting ready to use Google Slides. So once you're signed in, like I am already, you're going to want to use your Garden City account. To get to Google Slides, there's two ways that you can do it. You can either go to this little, what some people call a waffle, this little menu here for the apps. You can click on that. And just for kind of a quick access, you can click right here where it says Slides, or you can go to your Google Drive. Okay, and here you'll see I have my Google Drive. To get to a Slides document, you can come to where it says New, this menu right here in the top left. You can go to Google Docs, Google Sheets. Of course, we're going to do Google Slides today. So you would click on this little arrow and click on Blank Presentation. If at any point you feel like you have a question as I'm going through, feel free to drop it in the chat, and I'm sure Lauren will be able to help you because I can't really see the chat while I'm doing this. Or if you want to even just unmute yourself and ask as I'm going through, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. So now that we're in a blank Google Slides document, if you're familiar with PowerPoint, it's very similar to that. It doesn't have every single feature that PowerPoint or like Keynote, if you're using a Mac product, it doesn't have every single feature that it has, but it has most of them. One thing I know it doesn't have is if you're trying to record your voice on like directly onto the presentation, you can't really do that within Slides. You would have to record your voice on like a voice memo or somewhere on your computer and then import it in through like insert audio. So I know that was a question that I got a lot throughout remote learning is, people wanting to make videos or whatever it might be with their lessons in Slides. You can't really do that here, but there is a lot that you can do. So let me go through first, before I kind of get to some of the creative tools that you can play with. I want to show you the different ways that you can save a PowerPoint. I keep saying PowerPoint because I said it before. Slides. The first thing you want to do is up here, you want to make sure that you're naming what your document is going to be called. Okay, so you would do that just by clicking in the top left corner. It previously said untitled document, and you'll see that it says now saved to Drive. It saves automatically. You don't need to, you'll see if I click on file, there's no option to save. So just like anything else in Google Drive that you're working in, like docs or spreadsheets, it saves automatically as you work. So that's definitely a bonus for using Google Slides. And then there's different ways that you can save your document. If you go to File, you'll see, like I said, there's no save here, but we do have the option for download. And if you go to the little menu for download, you'll see that there's different ways that you can, in a sense, export out this document. You can make it into a PowerPoint presentation if you wanted to save it to, or share it to like another computer, somebody that doesn't have Google. You can save it as a PDF. I'm just kind of looking at the common ones that people would use. The JPEG, you can save it as a JPEG, which is kind of like what a picture would be saved as. And PNG is actually, I typically use PNG settings if you wanted to maintain like transparency. Like if there's a document that you're using and there's like a transparent background, typically you would save it as a PNG so that when you put it on something else, it would still maintain that transparent background. And once you download your document, like say I downloaded this document as a PDF. If I click that, you'll see that it goes down to the bottom of my screen. It doesn't automatically save it to your drive. It will save the slides presentation, like the initial document that you made, but it won't save anything that you download. So you'll see that it went down to my bottom. So what I can do here is I can drag it to my desktop or any other folder that you're comfortable with putting it, or you can switch over to your drive and kind of drag it from the bottom, or your desktop, again, depending on where you moved it. And you can just kind of drag it. You should be able to drag it to save it. It's not working. Let's see. Oh, you know what? Drag it to your desktop, and then you can drag it into your Google Drive. And then you'll see that I have both versions of this once I've downloaded it. So if you wanted it to kind of stay in a central location, just be aware anything that you download and drag to somewhere else, you may need to put back into your drive. Okay, so let's go back. After you've saved your document, say you've gone through, you've made your lesson presentation how you want it to look. Before you really share it anywhere, like to Seesaw, or maybe you want to share it to another teacher that you're working on it with, or a teacher asked you to share it with them because they want to use it and make it their own. You need to make sure, and this is really important, in the top right corner where it says share, you'll see as I'm hovering over it, you might need to, if you have like a little picture of us, you might need to move it out of the way so you can see it. It says private only to me. So if I were to click on share and copy this link to send to somebody, because that's how you share it. Everything is web-based, right? It stays within your drive, and you're sharing a link to your drive essentially. If I were to copy it right away, they wouldn't be able to view it. If you were to try to copy this link and put it in Seesaw, nobody would be able to see it. It would say that it is restricted. So you need to make sure that you click on share, and then you need to click where it says get link, change link to Garden City Public Schools. I'm going to click on that because now it gives me more options. Okay, I can click where it says Garden City Public Schools, and you can change your, you know, sharing properties or your viewing properties how you need it to be. If you're sharing it to Seesaw, you should do anyone with the link. And then you can change it also to viewer, commenter, editor. You have control as it's your document to make it so that somebody can just view it. Or if you want people to be able to actually take your document and do something with it, like if they're using it as a template, you would want to change it to editor. And make sure you click done when you're done kind of finalizing how you want your share settings to be. After you click done, now when you hover over it, you'll see the new share settings will be there. So mine says public on the web, anyone on the internet with the link can open. So that doesn't mean that your document is out there for anybody to see. It's anybody that you personally share that link with will be able to view it. So it's only viewable by the link. So now that I've kind of gone through just some basics with Google Slides, like how you can share it, how you can save it, there's so many different ways that you can, you know, kind of create your document. I don't know how familiar, I think there's varying degrees of familiarity with this program. So I guess I'll just go through some of the basics, and if you have a question, kind of pop on and ask. A lot of people like to design their template, you know, design their presentation just from scratch. It's always going to give you this main slide that you have on the first page. So if you wanted to kind of get rid of that, you can just kind of drag to select both of them, and you can delete it, and it kind of gives you a blank canvas. And then you can change your background. You can change the color here. You'll see it says background right there. You can kind of go to work on building your presentation however you want to build it. If you wanted to use a theme, and I'm going to go into this a little more in a minute, there are different themes that you can choose from. The one for the presentation here, I used this one, and then I just kind of, you know, modified it a little bit. And what that will do if you use a theme, over here, this side of the page is kind of your doc for all the slides. If you wanted to add a new slide, you click on this little plus sign with the little arrow will give you all the choices of the different slides that you can choose from. And once you have a bunch of different slides, you can kind of click and drag to change the order of them, things like that. So of course you can add insert, you can add text, you can add audio. Video is probably, I think, let me see, you can add like a YouTube video, or you put the URL. If you have one in your drive, I don't know if I have any. Yeah, I have some videos. You can insert videos that you have on your computer. You can do charts and tables and all different kind of shapes that you can use to kind of build the look and feel for your presentation. There's some quick tools for those things right here: text box, insert image, shape. This is where you would change color and text. If you wanted to link anything, if you wanted to say link like a shape to another page, you can choose what you want to link, and then that is what this little insert link is. And then I can link anything within my document to a different page. So you can see when I click on it, it would link, and that will take your students, if you were to link something in your slideshow, it would take it to another exterior page. So you have to keep that in mind when you're choosing what you're linking to.
Julianne, are we allowed to ask questions? I'm sorry,
Yes.
Lauren.
Yep.
Oh, could you just go back to the audio? I saw when you added a video, but to add audio, and if we were giving directions to the student, you would just press that and then talk?
No, so Yeah, no, I think you missed it because
Oh, I was
it's
with
okay.
Mike DeBullo for a minute.
Unfortunately, on Google Slides, you don't have the ability to
Okay,
record
sorry.
in Google Slides. If you were to choose audio, you can have like a voice memo or something like that that you've recorded externally
Okay,
and import it in. But Google Slides does not have that option.
okay. I'm sorry that was
No,
answered.
that's okay. It's
I
fine.
was on the other one.
Worries.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm glad you made it. um, so yeah, any other like basic questions on just things that you can do within Google Slides? Because there's really like a lot to it, and I know everyone has different um, comfort levels with it. Okay. So I'm going to move on then, because the next thing actually I was going to talk about before I move on to like more of the Seesaw stuff is templates. So when you're creating your Google slide presentations, sometimes you can use templates to kind of get you started, and then you can customize it to what you need. There's different ways that you can create a template. You can create your own template within Google Slides by, like I said, I chose this theme here. So you can see it over here as themes, and that's just what Slides gives you. It's like their templates that they have. But just because there's, you know, this template here doesn't mean that I have to stick to their color scheme. So you can modify some of the templates that they give you by choosing the one that you want. And then you can go to View, Master. And within here, you kind of customize color schemes by choosing, see where it says colors? And then you can choose theme colors. So I can, if I wanted to change the text, if I didn't like that color, I could choose that and then find a new color. Maybe I want blue. And now you'll notice all of that yellow turned to blue. And you can kind of go through all these different colors that are within this template that they've given you and change them to what you want. So if I want this accent color to be different, you don't have to change everything, you can just change some. There are a lot of different, you know, features to these colors. Like there's a lot of different options that, as you can see, but you can kind of go through and customize it that way. And when you're done, you can just X out of this and you'll have your new color scheme within your slides template. Any questions about that? Okay. Another way you can use slides templates is by making a copy from a document that was shared with you. So say I were to make a lesson on PowerPoint and I want to share it with my team of teachers, right? So that they can modify it for their class and make it more customized. But they still want all the information that's on there. I'm going to go back to my drive and show you over on the left-hand side, there's a menu. And one of the options in your drive is shared with me. So if, say, you know, somebody emails you a link, like I showed you earlier, if you go to share and you copy the link and you email it to somebody, or you can even share it with somebody here by typing in their email right here and then sending it. That's another way you can share. That document should go to shared with me. It kind of lives there. So that doesn't mean if it's shared with you, it doesn't mean that it stays in your drive automatically. If you want to take that document that was shared with you and kind of keep it and change it and make it your own, I'm going to find a document that I was looking at earlier. So like this one, right? This was shared with me. I'm going to open it up. This is not currently in my like saved drive documents. It's in the area where people shared things with me. So it's not my own, it's just the original document. I can open up the document that's shared with me, and then you'll see, based on the share settings of whoever shared this with me, it's view only. So I can't really go through and make any changes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on File and make a copy. You can do the entire presentation. It gives you the option to do entire presentation or selected slides. Really quick, if you wanted to share, to save more than one slide, what you could do is hold down your Shift key on your keyboard and click on the slides that you want to save if you didn't want the entire document. And you can select a bunch at once by holding down Shift and clicking. Or you can, of course, save the whole document. You're going to go to File, make a copy. I'm going to do the entire presentation. You can rename it if you want. I'm just going to keep it copy right now. And you'll see in the folder, it's going to my drive. You could change that if you want. I guess you could save it to your computer if that's more comfortable for you. But I'm going to save it to my drive. I want all my stuff to live there. And I'm going to click OK. And now you'll see that it opens up a new document separate from the one that was shared with me. And now you'll see that on the original where it says view only, and you'll see I don't have any tools here. On my copy where I clicked make a copy and saved it to my drive, now I can go through and edit this and I can change it however I want it to be. Maybe I don't want 8 steps. You know, I can kind of come through and delete and change the text if I want. You know, you can make it whatever you want it to be. You can come over here and click and delete slides if you don't need all of them. So that's another way that you can use a template. Basically, take something that's shared with you, go to File, make a copy, and save it to your drive so that you can make it your own. Okay, and the last way that you can use templates, or another way that you can use templates, is from an online resource. So say you get it from, I'm going to show you the example of a template that I got from Twitter. This guy, Chris Sajner, he is a Seesaw ambassador for Seesaw, and he's a teacher, and he puts out the most amazing resources. I definitely suggest that you check him out. You'll see on his feed, it says, get the template here. So you might come across that through your, process of curating resources. People might have templates for you. So let's see what happens when I click on this. Okay, so this is the template that he's sharing. You'll see it opens it up like this. In order to get that into your drive, you're going to click in the top right-hand corner where it says use template. Okay, and that will save it now to your drive, and it kind of makes a copy for you. You'll see right here next to the name, it said save to drive with this little check in the cloud. And you can rename it if you want. You can go through and edit it.
I have a question. This is Michelle.
Yeah, hi.
Where did you find somebody like that? Are you looking for resources like that? Is that directly from Seesaw or online or something?
So this particular person is a Seesaw ambassador. So Seesaw, like on their Instagram and on their YouTube page and Twitter, like they'll often link to him.
Okay.
And Seesaw themselves, like I could probably look up Seesaw on here. They will often offer resources like that. So yeah, this guy, he has, this is his Twitter feed. He has so many different tips and tricks, and he has a YouTube page. So if I were to click on like this YouTube, he has a bunch of videos on, just things that you can do with Seesaw. So that's how I found this particular person. Does that answer your question? I didn't like specific. You can look for templates, but you want to make sure that they're,
It's good to have a resource like a person, to go to. And I guess if you just search this person online in all sorts of places, you could find it.
Yeah, you'll find a bunch of his stuff. I think he may even have a whole website. Okay. So it's not, I see, Samantha, you asked about whether it was just on Twitter. Like we found him Twitter. on Twitter, but he has links to, if you just Google his name there, I'll put it in, I'll try to see if I can find it. I'll throw the link in the chat here.
And it looks like he has like how-to videos like that
He
are kind
has everything.
Okay.
It's so good. He
Okay.
really developed a lot of this during the whole thing in the spring.
Okay.
But yeah, he's really good. So I'll throw the link in and share that out with you guys.
And also, like, I find when I'm looking for just kind of like the network of people that make quality resources, often they'll like refer to each other, like they'll tag each other. So I found this lady through, I think, the guy that I was just showing you. And she, I think, has a bunch as well. Like, they're not all Seesaw specific, but she also has a great amount of resources. And here's Seesaw too. Let me see, like Seesaw has their own page. Again, I know this is all within Twitter, but they're usually on multiple platforms that you can kind of poke through and find the things that you're looking for. And they'll often, you'll see Seesaw retweeted, like they'll retweet things that they see and think are great. So this might be a great place to start is Seesaw itself, because they'll like advocate some of the people that they're seeing. So they do some of the curating for you, but of course you have to, you know, do it on your own basis, based on your needs. But yeah, so that's how I found him, and he offers some templates, and a lot of them are great to use. So yeah, any questions about using templates? That's basically like the gist of what I wanted to say for this section. Really quick, like I'll show you now that I've saved those documents that I made copies of and used. You'll see now this is my personal drive. You'll see now they're in my drive here. So they're at the bottom because I didn't put them in a folder yet. You'll see that they're saved to my drive and they're in a safe place, and maybe I didn't make them initially, but you know, I've been working on them to kind of customize them, and that's kind of where they'll live, all within your drive. All right, so let's move on to integrating the slides that you create or the presentations that you create and putting them into Seesaw. I know that we did a bunch of this back when we were doing remote learning. We definitely touched on choice boards and things like that. So I think some of you are definitely familiar with importing PowerPoint, I keep saying that, slides into Seesaw. But there are a few different ways that you can go about it. So I'm going to go over ways you can import it, ways you can make it clickable, because there are a few different ways that you can take a slide that you want kids to like click on. There are a few different ways to go about that. And also I came across some new fun tools that I think maybe some of you would be interested in, that you can build within slides and then put them into your Seesaw activities. So let's move over to Seesaw for a minute. Okay, so I'm going to just use the choice board as an example. This is the same document that I used for a PD that we did a little while ago about how to create the choice boards. So if you're interested in that, that should be on our website, that you can kind of go through and learn how to make those. But when you're taking a document that you made in Google Slides, like this one that I have here, let me open up that actual document. Okay, so here you can see this is my slides document. You can see this little icon that tells me what kind of file that I saved it as, and this little yellow square is telling me that it's a slides document as opposed to this little red PDF. So that kind of tells you what kind of file it is. So I'm going to open up my slide that I have a choice board for my students that I want to put into Seesaw. Here I went through, I created 3 different choices that they can go through to learn about the parts of a plant. And when you click on the little icon, you'll see that it's linked to a different web page that the students can go to learn. This is Brain Pop. and this is PBS Kids. Now, if I were to just import this into Seesaw, and I'll show you how to do that, it wouldn't necessarily be clickable for them. So if I'm going to create a new activity, and you're going to click on Add Multimedia. Typically, when you're uploading a PowerPoint slideshow into Seesaw, you're going to click on Upload. Okay, it gives you the option Select from Computer, but I'm working, everything is in Google Drive. So I'm going to click on Select from Google Drive. And you can see that I can kind of go through all my documents. It doesn't have my folders here anymore. But you can go to where it just says My Slides. So it kind of like filters it for you. And if I wanted to just import maybe something that's not super interactive, right? Maybe it's just a slideshow that you have that is giving them information. It could be a multi-page slideshow. You would just click on Upload, choose the file you want to upload, and you'll see that it will put it right into Seesaw for me with all the pages that I have here within that original slides document. Didn't need to save it any particular way. It's just a straight original file. I can come in here now and kind of edit if I want to delete. I can click on the little 3 dots right here, and I can delete a page if I wanted to. And it shouldn't affect my original slides document because now I'm working within Seesaw. And you can go through and you can, you know, record your voice on it. You can add videos to it, and you can do all the things that you would normally do when creating a Seesaw activity with your slides as the basis of that. But that being said, if I had something that was clickable here, the kids couldn't click on it to go somewhere. So I'm going to delete this. And let me upload that document, that choice board that I had that was supposed to be clickable for them, and show you what would happen. So here is, where is it? This one. So if I were to put this in, and I just went to Add Multimedia, Upload, and then I chose this from my drive. I'm going to click Save. And save, because I'm not going to, you can put instructions and all that kind of stuff. But you'll see that they can't click here. Let me see if I click View Original. Oh, no, I guess it does work if you click View Original.
Yeah, it does. It's just like, that was a question that a lot of teachers were having. Like, we can put it in there. You can design the whole thing in slides that way, but then you have to teach the kids to do View Original if you want the links to work. That was our thing. So that's what I know you're going to show them a little workaround for that. Yeah. To jump in.
So, yeah, I got confused because like this, you can't click on. But if you click on View Original, you would have to teach the kids that that's something that you, or the families, that that's something that you have to do, is click on View Original. And then as they click on it, they'll have to like kind of keep going back and forth, which is basically typical for some of these clickable activities. So that is one way that you can do it. You can just upload, you know, build it in slides by, you know, linking your images or whatever you want it, whatever you want within your slideshow to be clickable for the kids to go to something. You can do it right within your slideshow, and then just upload it to Seesaw. Or another option that you can do is you can take your slideshow and you can go to File and Publish to the Web. Okay, so publishing to the web kind of gives it like an online, I already have this published, but you see it gives you a link. It's just another way that you can share it. So if I were to go to Publish to the Web, if this wasn't, I'm going to stop publishing just so you can see. you would click on publish if it's not already published. Click OK. And then this is the link that you could copy. So I'm just going to do Command, you can do Option C, Control C. And when you're making your activity in Seesaw, you would go to Add, and you can put your instructions here, and then you're going to go to Add Multimedia. And this time, since you're publishing it to the web and using the link as your sharing tool, you're going to click on Link. And then you can just paste that link and click on the check. And then it will like embed it within your activity. And I'm going to click check. And of course you can go through and you can add other things to this as well. Like you can add a template to go along with it if you wanted to. You can add voice instructions. Just for these purposes, I'm going to click on save so that you can see when they click on it, it will show them the little, preview of it, but when they click on it, it's going to take them to a separate web page that they can then click on their choices from. It's very similar to viewing original if you were to just upload the slides. Okay, and then the third way you can make your slides clickable, or your activities rather, is really just building it within Seesaw. So a new feature of Seesaw, let me go to this. Actually, I'm going to show you a mistake that I made. I originally started with this when I was building it within Seesaw. I started with a PDF version from my slides. And what that ultimately did is it really just gave them the view original. Anytime you upload a PDF to your Seesaw activity, it makes an original for the students to see. So it's easier for them to print and things like that. Might make the resolution better depending on what kind of, page you're giving them. So that's why when I made it a PDF, it gives them the view original in addition to being able to click right here. So if I were to redo this again, I would make this if you want to keep your background the same, if I were to just delete these things, and I just wanted like the background to be made in slides, I would probably save this as a JPEG, because a JPEG, I don't believe should make an original, like give the kids the option for the original. And I would use that like as my background. Or like I said, the new feature in Seesaw, which is really cool, is you can just kind of build it right in Seesaw. There's a new feature where you can now link things right in the activity template. So I'm going to click on Create Activity. You can put your instructions. And I'm going to go to Add Multimedia. And I'm going to start with a drawing. And you can just kind of build your clickable activity that you would have normally done in slides. You can do it right within Seesaw. So you can choose background color. You can use, if I were to make it very similar to the one that I just had, you can use the shapes. You can change the color of the shapes. Another cool thing is you can copy and paste. So let me see if I copy this image from my slide, and you can do it from anywhere on the internet. And then I come to my Seesaw activity. This has been a little finicky. It doesn't always paste it, but I have been able to kind of copy and paste the same way I would do when I'm building within Google Slides. Let's try that one more time.
Julianne, it's Michelle again. I have a question. Maybe one of you could answer. Is the idea of using Google Slides to have like a kind of first draft or a space where we can save it and things won't get lost? What's the purpose of having Google Slides now as opposed to just having Seesaw?
So yeah, I mean, when you build your activities in Seesaw, you can save those in your library as well. So it is a very similar interface in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't want things on their presentations to be clickable. I mean, I think it's at this point, now that they have this new feature, might be a comfort level. Maybe you're more comfortable working within slides as opposed to Seesaw.
Oh, okay.
You know, yeah, so
Just another option.
It's
yeah,
just
Okay.
it's just another option. I think we always went to slides because it was so easily editable.
Right.
You can add so many different things to it, and then over the summer, Seesaw started adding some new features, so it made it a lot better than what you guys were seeing initially with it. It was kind of limited.
Okay.
And this, like, we always found that you can, if you build a template in Google Slides, you could just do like a background thing and then share it out with everybody in your grade level. And then you guys could each customize it. It just allows you to customize, I think, a little bit better than in Seesaw. But a lot of people were just asking us about the Google Slide thing because so many people were interested in those Bitmoji classrooms. And those are typically built out mostly in Google Slides. So we figured we'd address it here. Go ahead.
Lauren, I have a question. Like, I have built a bunch of Bitmoji classrooms, like one for reading, one for foundations, one for math, and I want the kids to continue to revisit it. Like, it'll be like the anchor charts and stuff like that. So on Seesaw, it's not like you have a homepage where you can just post and they can continue to revisit. So does that mean like every time I just have to repost the same link on Seesaw so that they could go to Google Slides?
Sorry, I was muted. That's the problem we're having right now with Seesaw, is that they don't really have a place where you could like float something that to the top of that. They just have that mess of, not mess, I don't mean like that, but the stream. Like, I don't think, unless anybody, or Julianne, you know better, is there a way to pin something to the top of that? I think that was the question. I know we had been talking about that in this summer curriculum group. Like, is there a way to pin one thing to the top that always stays there?
not that I know of right now. I know what I was seeing at one of the new features in Seesaw, which we're going to do tomorrow. We have another one of these for all the new features, but there's a new section in the activities where it's like to do, in progress, and completed. So maybe we can look into that more and see.
Just because like I have one slide for foundations and it's going to be like their drill cards, and I want them to like listen to it or practice it, or sometimes they can revisit it. They can revisit it during free time or at home. So it's just a reference for them. So I didn't know if I should also have like a Google Classroom for them.
Well,
and I know because it's second grade that we're really sticking with Seesaw. So I'm just trying to balance it and figure it out.
No, that's a good question. Like, for second grade, there was a lot of discussion about switching over to Seesaw. I mean, keeping Seesaw, but moving things into posting your Seesaw assignments in Google Classroom. Christian, for you, I think that that's something you can do. But I don't know if all the K1 teachers are ready to make that shift yet. So,
because I was going to use Google Classrooms as like a post notifications, updates, and then use the Seesaw more as the portfolio.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people have started doing because they're realizing some of the limitations in Seesaw for sure.
Okay. Thank you.
There is also a way, again, I have to look into it more. There's a new way where you can link like to like, I guess with this linking feature that I was about to show you. So like, say we're just to link this shape that I made. You can go to the 3 little dots at the bottom of whatever you want to link, and go to, see now this is a new feature where it says link. and you can enter the website URL. So I guess you could take the URL and link from like an activity that you've made within Seesaw and link it from, like, you can link activities to each other. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. I just, because like I'll do that. I just didn't know if, you know,
I know,
it's the management. I'm just trying to figure it out.
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
We'll try to come up with a good solution for. So yeah, like I said, this is the new feature that you can kind of link within. If you wanted to just build it right within Seesaw, you can do that now, but you don't have to. Like, you can still use your Google Slides if that's what you're more comfortable with. The thing is, when you make it just in Seesaw, let me delete. So when you, like I said, when you make it right in Seesaw, ignoring this view original, if you were to just build it right in Seesaw, the kids could just kind of click on it right within the activity, as opposed to clicking on your slides, taking them to another page, and then clicking from there. It's just one less step. So I think that new feature is definitely something that would be good to be utilized. But again, I think especially just getting started based on your comfort level, it's just a few different ways that you can go about it. Oh, and then I also wanted to show you how you can use slides to build fun tools that you can embed within your Seesaw activity. And this is actually from that guy that I was showing you earlier. You can make spinners, and we can drop these links, or you can just go to his YouTube page and find them. There's a way that
a spinner actually embedded right in it, so it looks something like this. You can spin the number, pause it, and then mark it on your actual template for students.
So this little spinner was built in Google Slides, and he goes through the whole process on these videos. They are a little time consuming, but I would say worth it if it's something that you're interested in, because once you have it in your slides and in your drive, you could reuse it for different activities to embed it within your Seesaw activities. And you would do that the same way you would, let me just edit this one. So if you were to build something like this little spinner, what he actually does is he uses an extension, which I'm going to show you, to make it a video. So you can see it's actually see with the pause button, this little spinner is actually a video that he made within Slides. So when you're working on building your activity in Seesaw, you could import over here using the camera a video that you made to make like the spinner, or any other kind of generator that way. That is recorded video. That's not what I wanted. You could upload a video from your drive. Well, not directly from your drive. You can make it in your drive and save it to your computer, if that makes sense. Sorry if that was confusing. So yeah, so we will, I will drop in the, the chat this video, and he also shows you how to make like a timer or a number generator, which is pretty cool. Not what I wanted to do, sorry. So it is, like I said, it's a little time consuming to go through, but might be worth it if you want something where it kind of generates things to make your activities a little bit more interactive.
It just picks up right where I started. Pause, and now
So see, like that number generator, again, depending on your needs and the activities that you build. So those are fun things that you can build within Slides to kind of embed in your activity. And again, I'll show you in a minute. I talk about Chrome extensions and add-ons on the next slide, but how he made that video was using an add-on to Google Slides. So I just want to touch on the Bitmoji Classroom because we were just talking about it, and I know that it's a popular approach and it's fun. I think it's fun to make your own Google Classroom. So if that's something that you want to use for your class, you can use your Google slide. So this one was built in Google. Let me go to Seesaw and show you what that would look like. So the two different ways that I built a classroom one was using, because a lot of people build them right in Google Slides. And then you would need to link it to your Seesaw activity. And let me open that. So this, you can see, is I just uploaded, like I showed you earlier. I made this within Google Slides, and then I just uploaded it as Google Slides into my activity. And that gives you the option to then view the original, which takes you to a new page. But now everything within this isn't really my classroom. This is just an about me slide that I did, but it's the same idea. Things are now clickable within the slide. Just by building the slides with things that are linked within your slides. This is being a little difficult, but let's see. Oh, see, that's the thing. When you open your original, if it doesn't open it in a new window, so when I don't know why I clicked on that same one again, you would have to hit the back arrow as opposed to Xing out of it. So I linked my poster to code.org. But if I wanted to go back to my classroom by doing it through slides, I would have to hit the back arrow because it's just really another web page. Or I'd have to go back to my Seesaw activity and view original again. Does that make sense to everybody? So that's, if you were to build your Bitmoji Classroom within Seesaw and share it within Slides and share it to Seesaw that way, this is kind of what it would look like for your students. They would have to view the original and then click around on this new page. But now that, Seesaw has things that are clickable, you can link things right within Seesaw. I spent a little bit of time building a Bitmoji Classroom right in Seesaw. So you can see now that I click on this one, it doesn't say view original at the bottom because I built it right within my drawing page. And you can see right next to everything that has a link, it has this little image of the link next to it, and they can click on it right from here and it will take them to a new page from your Seesaw activity. It's just one less step, honestly. It depends on your preference building wise, but I was able to do a lot of the same things that I would do in Google Slides within Seesaw. Yeah, so
you send us all this and this could be our template.
You know what, Michelle, good question. So we have a small group of teachers from all grade levels in K through 5 who are working on building these templates, and we're going to share those out. We're actually have quite a few of them. They've made templates just like this that you can just now add your Bitmoji to and make the reset links if you want to. In fact, Kristen Thompson, you're on here now. I don't know who else was on. They've made a math one, a foundations one, and a reader's workshop one, so that it's kind of all this background stuff is already really done. And they've done some models with I think there was one I saw letter T, letter M and N, and a foundations drag and drop that board, the way you drag the magnetic tiles over and stuff like that. So they've been building that out to give you just something to get started with. And then we just wanted to show you this so that you can customize the things that they share with you. a little bit better. Kristen, I don't know if there was anything you wanted to jump on about with that.
Did it slides, right, Lauren?
I'm sorry, say that again.
We built those classrooms in slides.
They built them in slides. Yes.
So
yes. But go ahead.
No, go ahead.
They linked them to Seesaw. So we were actually talking about like how to, the background of it would be built in slides already. So it would just be a matter of maybe taking out some of the links, and we have to kind of clean that up a little bit because we were kind of building this as we went along. And then I think when I was looking at it, I realized, well, if it goes into Seesaw, then somebody else can't take their Bitmoji person out. You know, like you still had to do the customizing with slides.
That's what I was going to say. Like I said before, you can use your Google Slides kind of as your home base for all of your resources, like, you know, the images that you want in and out. And you can copy and paste. That's what I was doing with some of these things. Again, it's a little finicky. Like I had to like copy and paste a few times. Sometimes, because if I were to copy, you know, my Bitmoji and then try to paste it, it wouldn't paste initially. So I'd go back and try again. It is a little finicky, at least on my computer. But
Seesaw,
you could, like what I was, let me see if I can let me go to edit. So I was taking things from this just because I had a lot of like things here.
Wow.
And like if I wanted to copy this poster or let me see, maybe the laptop, I would select it, copy it, and then go back to my Seesaw, you know, drawing page. And it's not working for me. This is what I mean. It is a little bit difficult, but it was working because some of the things that you see here were copied and pasted, all built right in here.
And I think that's why a lot of people just stuck with using Google Slides for this, because it did have some, you know, like it's great. It's terrific, this whole add-on. But, and also just to throw in about, you know, not that I'm saying everything has to be Bitmoji Classroom, but the nice thing about, like, if you look at Julianne's there, that could be your day. So you're just posting that per day, you know, and then it links to the other activities, but every morning that's what you relink is a new one of these for Tuesday, for Wednesday, or it's the same one and each day you're just, you know, changing up the morning meeting, the reading activity, so it just makes it like now you have one constant and the kids get used to that. You know, a lot of the teachers in all the different grades we were talking with were saying like they're going to show this on the smartboard that first week that they have students, so that they're going to start working off of that for their lessons, just so that the kids become familiar with that as an interface. Again, you don't have to at all. We're just looking for ways to compartmentalize like everything, so you're not, you know, last year it was kind of like you guys did it for most of you. It was like your morning activity was you were like typed it all out. Here's the math, here's the this, here's the that, where this could all just go in here. And so in the morning, you just post one thing and everything is linked off of that.
Can you link to another Seesaw activity?
So I was seeing that you could do that. Let me try that really quick.
And then if I wanted to continue to use that Bitmoji Classroom, I would have to just make a copy of it every day?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and just, you know, change the links or
the
whatever.
date or the links and stuff like that. Okay.
Let me see if I can link. So to get the link for an activity, you would open up the activity, click on the 3 dots, share. Let's see, get teacher link. Let's try that. Right, Lauren? Right? Copy. I have to.
I'm not sure if that will work, but there was a way to, I don't know if the teacher link will work, because I think that's going to force them to make a copy, the students to make a copy. So we have to play with that little piece of it.
I did see, and we're going to go over, hopefully tomorrow we'll have it figured out by then. And we'll show you tomorrow in our new features. Maybe I don't know if it would be the embed code, but yeah, I did see, like we said, I did see that you could do that. So you could potentially do that within your classroom, link to other activities. All right, and then the last thing that I just wanted to touch on, and then we'll wrap up any questions that anybody has, is within Chrome for Google Slides, you can do different add-ons. So you'll see up here when you're in your Google Slides document, you can go to where it says add-ons, and then go down and go to get add-ons. And some of the ones that I have, like I see these are the ones that are installed. You can do Pear Deck, which is creating like an interactive slideshow, things that they can click and respond on, similar to like Nearpod, which also has an extension. Another one that you can kind of search here for any kind of add-on for your slides. I know there was one, flat icon. So like this one, for example, if you click on it, sort of like the apps that you would download on your phone, right? It kind of shows you like a little preview of what it offers. This one I actually did want to download because it has like fun little icons that you can put into your presentations. So when you find one that you like, you would click on install, continue, just needs your permission, and then you would choose your account and allow. And then it will install it within your slides so that you can, when you want to use it, you can go to add-ons and you can see all the ones that I've downloaded here are in this drop-down menu. And the one I just downloaded, I don't see, maybe it's too soon, but icons for slides and docs, you can click on start and it'll open like a oh, this is the one I just downloaded. It'll open up like a sidebar that you can kind of drag and drop and search for. I saw a cute avocado one. So you can see now this particular add-on is just for icons for your slideshow. And you can kind of click and drag, or actually just select it and insert it. And it kind of gives you like a little fun clip art option for your slideshows. So that might come in handy for some of your classrooms or presentations. Pear Deck, I mentioned, is like an interactive presentation tool. I know Lauren did a PD about it that you can check out on the website. If you're familiar with Nearpod, they have an extension that you can add on by going to get add-ons. Here, Bitmoji. That's just an add-on for Chrome, actually. I don't have that specifically within Google Slides, but that is a fun Google Chrome add-on. And once you do that, you can see I have up here my Bitmoji extension so that I can just click on it and find the Bitmoji that I like and drag it. Or no, you have to click on it and copy it and then paste it within your slideshow. This is another icon one. This one is Translator. I'm going to open that really quick. Slides Translator. And you just kind of go to your add-ons and open it up, and it'll open up like a sidebar. And you can, this might be good for some of your students if you need to translate things for them. You can choose the language that you want to translate. It says translate. There's a few different ways you can do it. You might need to select the box and then translate. And then you can see the translation is right underneath. You can copy and paste it. So that's a great add-on for slides if that's something that you will find useful for your class. And then this one is the one Creator Studio that they were using to make videos, like for the, you know, the different generators that you build within slides. So Creator Studio, if you open it up, and if you watch some of those videos on how to make the generators, he'll walk you through all the different steps of what you need to do. But you can see that this kind of allows you to export your slideshows in different ways. Like you can make it a video file. We couldn't do that initially. You can't do that without the add-on. So I know when we were making videos that we wanted to put into our Seesaw back when we first started this, and some people didn't have that option on their slides, this would have been handy, but now we have it. So yeah, so this is definitely a great tool, I think, for different things that you can build within Seesaw and slides. Are there any questions that anybody has? I'm going to stop sharing, I think. Does anybody have any questions? All right. Thank you guys for coming.
All right,
I hope it was helpful.
And we'll be posting this to the Tech Tools site a little once it gets done rendering and stuff. I'll throw it up there. We kind of revamped that site, and the link is in my signature at the bottom of my email. So if you forget how to get there, we revamped it. It looks pretty now. And then there's a link at the top for any PD sessions. So it'll be the first one. All right. Thanks, everyone.